From a young age, we're taught to measure our lives on a strict pass-fail curve. We tie our identity entirely to immediate, measurable results. The problem with living on this scoreboard is the reset button. You hit your target, you get a spike of dopamine, and the baseline has moved. You are back at zero, staring down a new quota. This chart maps the trap. Anchoring value to output means wins bring a brief high, while misses trigger identity collapse. Obsession with the finish line erodes the journey. We skip the daily trial and error required for growth, chasing shortcuts to the final grade. To get off this treadmill, you have to replace the scoreboard with a different set of metrics that reward the effort rather than the result. The first principle of this new system trades the need for daily validation for the slow power of long-term compounding. Consider a 12-year-old kid who moves back to the States after spending his childhood abroad. He steps onto the basketball court and realizes he is hopelessly behind. He's scrawny, wearing bulky knee pads, and he can barely tap the backboard. Meanwhile, his peers are physically mature. Some have beards. They are throwing down reverse dunks. The gap in physical reality is so wide and the daily humiliation so sharp that the logical choice is simply to pack up and quit. Looking at this chart, you see two approaches to competition. The flat line represents relying on early physical dominance. It peaks fast and plateaus. Instead of trying to win today, he sets a strict boundary. Master one specific skill this year. Next year, a second skill. By the 10-year mark, stacking those micro-improvements, the skill curve turns exponential. Consistent input eventually overwhelms the early advantages of peers. Long-term strategic patience makes whatever you lack today irrelevant. You don't have to be good enough right now. You just have to stay on the path long enough to catch them. But staying on that path brings up a massive psychological barrier. Eventually, you have to face the fear of the final outcome, the dread that you will put in the work, take the shot, miss, and look foolish in front of everyone. Most of us handle this dread poorly. We try to suppress it. We tell ourselves we shouldn't be nervous. Or worse, we let the anxiety swell up until it stops us from trying at all. This diagram illustrates a more direct way to handle anxiety. Active interrogation. You start at the top with the feared event, say, missing a game-winning shot. You ask, and then what? People talk badly. And then what? Unpacking each layer defines the actual failure. Mapping the bottom of that logic, the abstract disaster becomes specific, survivable events. The fear isn't a physical wall, it's just imagination running unchecked. Once you clear out the noise of what other people might think, you create the space required for the third principle. This is where your authentic obsession can finally emerge. This kind of obsession isn't about seeking applause. It is the quiet willingness to sit at a desk at 7 a.m. writing backstories for characters no one has seen yet. We're spending months searching for a single piano melody. You are doing the work purely to solve the problem. When you lock into that level of focus, the external results lose their grip on you. The act of figuring the problem out becomes the reward. If you reach the pinnacle of your industry and collect a massive pile of hardware like these trophies, you may notice a strange phenomenon. Many who reach that summit find that the championship or the award on its own feels hollow. The trophy actually doesn't fill the void left by the end of the chase. This realization changes how success is calculated. The weight shifts from what you collect to what you provide for those following behind you. Navigating this shift requires studying the specific individuals who successfully moved from personal excellence into building generational legacies. When an author sits in a quiet room obsessing over the details of a character's history, they are building a world designed to outlast them. By pouring their energy entirely into the daily input of world building, they craft stories that continue to live and breathe for others. We see the same focus when a technology innovator refuses to ship a product until the unseen circuitry is as beautiful as the outside glass. That detail-oriented obsession is what allows a product to change how people live, rather than just chasing a quick sales figure. This discipline is also present when a media mogul refuses to hand over the rights to her show for a guaranteed payday. Taking absolute ownership of your process is the only way to ensure your work retains the integrity needed to inspire a global audience. Stop measuring life by the outcome. Master one small skill every year. Interrogate your anxieties until they vanish. If you trust that quiet daily process, your work will eventually become the inspiration for someone else to begin theirs.